Quick disclaimer, we are not investigative journalists. We simply read, watch, and listen to whatever we can to satisfy our curiosity while use this information to form our own personal opinions. Do not take this as investigative journalism. This is simply our own rabbit holes.
Hello, friends, and get ready. We're going to talk about the docs, the crimes, and all the people involved. This is Crime and Chill.
Hey guys, I'm Victoria.
And I'm Rachel.
How are you today, Rachel?
I'm good. Countdown is on. Christmas is almost here. And there was something else I wanted to say but forgot. Oh, yeah. So you mentioned that you wanted a Crime and Chill sweatshirt.
I did.
I want to know if anybody else wants one.
Yeah.
Because I have a way of making them and having them.
Okay, but can I just have one for Christmas, first of all?
It won't be ready by Christmas if I
Okay.
did it.
But I want one. So, if anybody else wants one,
I can make a couple things and have it sold through we can make a little merch store of, all the crazy things that we do. And I'm sure you guys are just as much in love with us as we are of loving of us. Or us, or stuff us. We just love ourselves.
So let us know on any of our social media platforms if you guys would be interested in any of that.
Because, Rachel's got really good editing skills to make cool designs. I could design some pretty cool shit.
Facts.
I mean, I could totally use a Crime and Chill candle with a Crime and Chill mug and a Crime and Chill hoodie to chill on my Crime and Chill couch as I watch Crime and Chill. That was a lot of Crime and Chill. Okay. So, that's what I wanted to bring up today. I need to know if anybody else would be interested before I spend all that time making something for just me and Victoria, which I'll probably do anyways.
Because we're cool.
We want other people to hear our stuff, and maybe if they see our stuff, they'll hear our stuff. But, just an idea.
All right. Well, let's talk crime news, shall we? We're going to be talking about a disappearance today. I reached out to the people running this Bring Brandon Home Facebook group. The person that we are talking about today, his name is Brendan Santo. His aunt is the one who emailed me. And I am just going to read you guys from this email what she sent me explaining what happened. Brendan has been missing since October 29th, 2021, shortly before midnight in East Lansing, MI, which is Michigan. He is 18 years old and is a Grand Valley State University freshman. Brendan was visiting family for the weekend at Michigan State University for the big MSU versus University of Michigan football game that was scheduled for October 30th, 2021.
It was a big game.
It was a very big game. And anywhere where there's colleges, that's a rivalry game. Rivalry games are big deals.
Especially on a holiday weekend like that.
Yeah. So this was also Halloween weekend, so it was an extremely busy weekend. He was last seen leaving Yankley Hall by himself, and his last cellular activity was on Beale Street near Michigan Avenue, which is not far from Yankley Hall. His friends believed he was traveling back to Brody neighborhood where he was staying and visiting other friends. It is also believed that Brendan sent a Snapchat to a friend saying he was lost and to come get him. The cameras in that area were not working, so there is no footage to show where he was exactly or which direction he was walking. On the night he went missing, Brendan was wearing a black Red Wing Yezerman baseball hat, a black shirt, gray split pants, and a zipper back pocket, and white Commie Des Garcon's Converse high-top shoes. He was wearing a gold necklace with a cross. He was carrying an iPhone 12 in a blue case with no screen protector and a dark brown wallet. He did not have his car keys, but he was carrying a set of keys belonging to a friend. Neither vehicle was moved all weekend. The information police obtained verified that the battery on his phone was drained to 0% at the time he went missing. Brendan was reported missing the following day by his friends. There has been no financial activity on his account since the early evening of October 29th, 2021. There were no Uber or Lyft charges noted, and no unusual activity was noted on his social medias. This continues to be an active investigation. A task force was formed, which includes MSU Campus Police, East Lansing Police, FBI, Grand Valley State University Police, Ingham County Sheriffs, Michigan Attorney General, Michigan State Police, and Oakland County Sheriffs. Searches have been made by foot, drone, helicopter, K-9 unit, boats with sonar equipment, and certified divers. In addition, there have been 2 civilian searches done by 800 plus volunteers of the MSU campus. There has also been a search into the ravine area on campus by volunteer rock climbers. There have been numerous tips reported to the tip line, but none have been fruitful. The river has been searched extensively, and none of his items have been found. None of the civilian searches found any clues either. We have continuously asked the public who were in East Lansing that weekend to check their phones for pictures or videos that may show Brendan in the background. Brendan would not leave on his own accord. He is a good kid with a kind heart and a zest for life. He always has a smile on his face and loves to make people laugh. Brendan is an intelligent, athletic young man who loves playing hockey and lacrosse. He was very excited about college, and his goal is to get into cyber surveillance or a computer-related field. Brendan has many friends and is close with family. He always goes out of his way to help someone in need and is known for taking younger kids under his wing. Our family remains hopeful that Brendan is found and returned home to us. We created a Facebook page/group and an Instagram page to spread the word about Brendan's story. The amount of support we have gotten is truly amazing. We currently have over 21,000 members, and in the last week, our membership increased over 3,000 members. I have dubbed our members as the BBH Warriors, as the vast majority does not know Brendan or our family personally, yet they are trying to help every day in many ways. The kindness shown is overwhelming, and we are doing flyer pushes, and we have a friend of the family keeping track of where the flyers have been posted. It's incredible to see that we have reached so many people. Unfortunately, Brendan is still out there, and we need to find him. At the end of the day, Brendan is basically vanished without a trace, but our family will never give up. So the tip line can be reached at 844-99-MSUPD or 844-996-7873 or tips@police.msu.edu. There is a GoFundMe. The Facebook and Instagram are Bring Brendan Home. Our Facebook is Bring Brendan Home. Instagram is Bring Brendan Santo Home. I will be posting some of the flyers and stuff on our social media so that you guys can see it. If you were in the area, check your stuff. If you live in the area and you have surveillance cameras, check your stuff. This kid, and I say kid even though he was 18, this kid just disappeared. Just gone without a trace. That's insane. Back to our Murdaugh series. Today is part 2 of a series we have just decided to title The Murdaugh Files. Thank you, Clay, my husband, for giving us a title, because we had nothing.
Yeah, and if you did not listen to last week, I suggest you go back, just because some of the craziness would not make sense of why they're doing what they're doing.
Nope, it's about to get more cray-cray. So, today, we're going to talk about some of the deaths and cases associated with the Murdaughs.
Yep. So before we jump into 2 cases that were reopened from the investigation of the double homicide of Paul and Maggie, on December 9th, 21 more charges, on top of the original 30 that he was already facing, were brought against Alex. And so now he is up to 51 charges.
Golly.
So I once heard a lawyer say the more charges, the better, because it gives them more negotiating.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how many of these charges will actually stick. Which ones will be moved, which ones will be, completely gone, which ones will be actually used in a trial. And according to my sexy Eric Bland, who I still have not looked because I don't want to ruin it, he believes this trial is still 5 years out. So
that makes complete sense to me.
Oh yeah. So it's going to be a long 5 years for me because I'm very curious.
And we did get a comment on YouTube about looking at Eric Bland. Just so everybody knows, I did look.
What's he look like? I guess I'll look now.
I mean, I think he's not a bad-looking guy. I don't think he's a bad-looking guy.
I bet you he looks like every other Southern attorney.
Kinda, yeah. I think he looks decent.
Yeah, I mean...
He's not horrible looking. He's not ugly.
His voice is better than his face.
Oh, yeah, but that's a lot of people.
I mean, he could just talk over radio. It's the way he talks, too. And he is married as of October 5th of 2013, with 2 daughters. So...
Good for you, sir.
Good job, Lane.
This is the thing. You can be married, you're still alive, you still have eyes, people still exist. It's okay.
I still can't tell which one's actually him, though.
Let me see.
I just quickly looked at his
I can show you.
Facebook. Not his Facebook, because if it's this
I
one...
can't see.
If it's this one, he's got better...
The middle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Blue tie. Yeah.
I can get a little bit more on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, now that we're over the Eric Bland fantasy show, I'm going to tell you about the original story of what was originally put into media before they reopened it.
Okay.
Okay. So, on July 8th of 2015, Stephen Smith, who was 19 at the time, was found on a rural road in Hampton County, South Carolina. The road was actually Sandy Run Road, and I have weird aerial that another I think he's a YouTuber, he put out showing the road. It's creepy. It's dark.
Is it one of those roads that we wouldn't walk? No,
you would not walk it, and I would not be comfortable driving it at night. You know, I don't like roads that go like this, and there's no lights. I know lights.
We're the same way.
Yeah.
Neither one of us is really that comfortable driving at night, period.
As long as there's more than one lane, I'm good. But, like, I don't want to get hit head on. Like, that's my worst fear. I don't know why. It's just one of them.
Okay.
So at 4 a.m. that morning, they receive a 911 call about a man lying on the road, and he was concerned he would be hit. That's all 911 is given. The guy was driving by. He thought it was an animal, gets close enough to it, realizes it's a man in the road.
Reasonably doesn't stop because it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
See, that's not reasonable to me.
Rachel.
On a dark road, and you don't see anybody else but a man lying in the road, I would stop. I wouldn't be able to not stop.
Okay, but listen. Let me explain, because this is why I think it's reasonable. It very well could have been a ruse or a setup in order to rob or murder somebody.
It very much could have been, but my conscience would not. I'd rather have been killed than
See, I wouldn't have gotten out of my car. See, if this is the thing and my conscience is making me stop, I would have pulled up and rolled my window down and hollered.
Yeah. And
looked closely. I would have sat there with my car completely locked up while I called 911, explaining that I didn't feel safe getting out of the vehicle, but I'm going to stay right here where this man's body is at.
Yeah, but he didn't do any of that. The guy just kept on driving by.
I mean, that's kind of fucked to me, but I also get it. Safety.
Guy doesn't sound like a little dude. He also sounded like a carrying man. Like, I don't know.
You never know.
And I don't want to shame him. He did the right thing by calling 911. Yeah. It's just
at least he called.
I could not have left him.
Yeah.
So officers arrive at the scene. They actually did not suspect what is eventually brought to light. They think he's beaten. He has a hole in his skull right above his right eye, and it was unclear at the time how it happened. His yellow 2013 Chevy Aveo or whatever, little Chevy car is parked 3 miles up the road. The gas tank door is open, and the gas cap is hanging out the side.
Okay.
It is reported that the car battery was functional, but it wouldn't start. So they thought maybe he needed gas and he was on the hunt to go get it, which would be obliterated by his mother, who said that would never happen. I mean, I don't know, never say never, but whatever.
I mean, some people are very particular about their gas. Like, they won't let their car get below, like, that half or that quarter.
Oh,
Me,
no.
I'm like, gas light, come on, I don't care.
No. I understand. I'm the same way. But if I accidentally did run out of gas and my cell phone was dead, I'm not going to sit there waiting.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would have been reasonable to wait till sunlight.
Yeah, but he was found at 4 a.m. They don't say what time he was actually dead.
Okay.
The reporting officer, Officer D.B. Rowell, and that's all they have him listed as, wrote in the original report that his shoes were lightly tied and both still on his feet. After consulting with the accident investigators in South Carolina, they're called MAIT. I don't know what they're called, if that's the same everywhere, but they are reconstruction investigators of car accidents. After consulting with them, they said no, that this was a homicide, and it was handwritten on the report, homicide. When the pathologist took the body over, she disagrees and says that it's a hit and run. The coroner disagrees with the pathologist, but there's no evidence to prove who is correct. Although, if you know anything about being hit by a car, tightly tied shoes would fall off of your feet.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Lightly
thinking.
tied shoes would sure as hell fall off your feet. Several people are named throughout this investigation, so they've now considered it a hit and run, and one of those people being named was Buster Murdaugh, which is Alexis Murdaugh's oldest son, his only surviving son as of today.
Yep.
The other one was a new lover, and there was one additional person with not much information listed about him. The only connecting factor between Stephen and Buster was that they were both boys graduated from the same high school, Wade Hampton High School. Which, fun fact, there's actually 2 Wade Hampton High Schools, because every time I hear it,
I was about to say,
I'm like,
wait.
That's in Greenville. No, there's 2.
Ah, I didn't know that. I was
Me
like,
either.
that's Greenville. What the hell?
Yep, there's 2. So, out of all the little information that we received out of Paul and Maggie's murder right now, this is something that actually was reopened during the investigation of Paul and Maggie's murder. They found evidence on the Moselle property to reopen this case. What is the evidence? I don't know.
I heard something about a vehicle.
Nope. Because if you look at the cars that were towed, a 2020 was looked at and a 2021 was towed. Neither of those cars would have been around in 2015.
True. So is there anything that says why Buster was being named or talked about?
So throughout the investigation, people would call in and say, I'm not sure about this, but I've heard.
So rumor mill.
Yep. Rumors. Even so much to say is one of the people that called in and left a comment regarding this investigation, they were told to by one of the Murdaugh family members.
What?
Supposedly. Now, again, no evidence to show that, but within the report, one of the tips comes from a person who was asked to give the tip from a Murdaugh family member. Alex Murdaugh told Stephen Smith's mother and father that he would represent the family at no charge. Why? This was before they even got anywhere. This was just days after.
So were they like connected?
No, they were not friends. They did not know each other.
Maybe Buster and Smith knew each other? From school, but like maybe they were kind of friends. And
from people that knew both people, they never were friendly like that. The only thing I can think of is maybe they had a secret friendship. Stephen Smith was an openly gay man, and maybe Buster didn't want to be known that he was friends with a gay man, so maybe it was a closet friendship. I'm not saying Buster's gay. I'm saying maybe we live in the South, people are weird.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't want to know that he was friends with
Especially, like, now it's better. I will say that now it's better. If you were gay and in South Carolina, things are a lot better. A lot of the younger generation is here and, like, has your back. I will say in 2015, especially in the low country, and when they would have been in high school, it wasn't really okay. I mean, I've never had a problem with it, but I can understand why, if, like, they were friends, maybe he didn't want that known.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what his family was like either.
Yeah, and I mean, 2015 wasn't that long ago, but...
No, but, I mean, the South evolves very slowly. We're behind everybody else. It's fine. We'll get there eventually. Just hold on. Give us time to catch up.
I think whatever evidence they did find that brought insight into that night back in July of 2015, I don't think it was substantial. Because if it was, I feel like there would be more happening.
Buster wouldn't be in the upstate if it was something with him.
He's not here right now.
Oh, he's not?
No. He's still...
I thought we just said last week he was coming.
He will be coming for spring semester. Because he goes to Wofford.
Well, I would like to know what they found.
Me too, but there's no information.
So I did some reading about the Stephen Smith thing. So I was reading about his funeral and this older man showing up saying that he was his boyfriend or something.
Yes, so that is the other suspected person in this case.
Which would make sense because nobody knew who he was. He just showed up.
He stated that they were dating for a long time. People have gone back through their Facebook pages, and the man had added, after his death, like, you know how you could put a scheduled time of when things drop?
Yeah.
He had scheduled, like, in history, like, in past.
Okay.
Certain things.
Okay.
But from everything that they can collect, it was only a couple weeks before his death. That man was also known to be an escort.
Oh.
So that's interesting.
Well, is it correct from what I've read that he was significantly older?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, his parents' age older. In his 50s.
Wow.
And he was 19.
Wow.
Supposedly, they had, like, the father-son weird gay relationship.
The CNC relationship, yes.
If that's what you want. I don't know what it's called. I think that's weird. I don't care if they were straight, if they were gay. That is weird.
Mm-hmm. You do you, boo-boo. I really don't care.
Yeah, no, I don't. But then I wonder about that older person's mindset as well as the younger person. What make that...
It's a lot.
It is. So, yes, he is also known as...
I'm about to get roasted for knowing CNC. I feel it.
He also is... He's given, like, interviews where, and I think I have a copy, where he states that he doesn't remember most of that night because of the medication he was on. That he remembers the last text coming from Stephen around 3-something in the morning. I don't remember the exact, I think 3:24 or a little bit before then, 3-something.
Yeah.
He was supposedly on the way to his house. Although there's contradictory reports, he was actually on his way to his mother's home, where he lived with his twin sister.
Wait, who was on the way to whose house?
Stephen was on the way to the older man's house.
Okay.
That's what the older man states.
I got
And then
confused.
he never got there. There was also information that this wasn't the first time his car was having trouble.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days beforehand, or a couple hours beforehand, I think it was a couple days beforehand, his car battery was partially disconnected. So it was connected enough to start the car most of the time. But a bump or something would have moved it, and the car would turn off.
Yeah.
And the sister went down. He was at a gas station. Sister went down, reconnected the battery. I think it was earlier that day. reconnected the battery for him, and he went home, got dressed, yeah, it was later that day, and went back out. The car was fine. She said she followed him all the way home. Everything looked fine. When the investigators were investigating the crime, they said the battery was fine.
Yeah, because the wires come loose sometimes.
She thinks it was tampered with.
Oh.
Which most cars, even a 2013, you would have had to get inside the vehicle to pop the hood.
Right.
So unless he left his car doors open, I don't see how that was possible. I think maybe they could have been being a little paranoid, thinking back on that situation of what had happened.
Yeah.
Or somebody could have messed with it. Who knows?
I don't know.
So yeah, there's that. And then they recently had a fundraiser to raise funds in hopes of getting more information into this case. But other than that, it was supposedly a hit and run that's now being reopened. So either they're reopening it as a homicide or they're reopening it as a hit and run. It hasn't been stated. But it's a reopened case.
I would like to know more.
I think it's crazy that the coroner disagreed with the pathologist. Doesn't the coroner have last say?
I would think so.
It's your fucking office. If you disagreed with what she was stating.
So the people on scene said one thing, pathologist said another, and then coroner said another. Or disagreed with the pathologist.
Yes.
So pathologist says hit and run.
Yeah.
The people at scene say homicide.
Yep.
Does coroner agree with homicide?
Just disagreed with her findings.
Just disagreed with her findings. Okay.
The investigator asked, could this have been caused by a bat? That was his first question.
Yeah.
And she says, no. Straight up, no. But then he says, could this have been caused by a bat driving down the road? And she says, I'm not sure.
Okay, but
so if it's caused by a bat, but you don't know if it was because it was driving down the road, and if you're hit by a vehicle, how is the only damage to his entire body was the hole in his skull above his right eye and his shoulder. So that means he would have been having to walk against traffic, like cars coming at him.
Yeah.
How did he not see a car coming at him on a dark road in the middle of the night to get over?
That doesn't make sense.
Because it would have been on his right side. He wouldn't have been on the, behind him coming up.
Yeah.
It would have been coming at him. In the U.S., we don't drive on the opposite side.
Yeah.
So, and he had a scratch on his shoulder and the hole in his skull.
That doesn't make sense for a hit and run. Just to be hit by a car. That doesn't make sense.
Like, that means he would have been having to walk like this. Even if a mirror came down.
Yeah, he would have had to been, leaning.
His head would have had to been turned at a 90-degree angle, which I don't think is possible beyond this. And then hit. You know what I mean? Like, it's... Then you have I think someone said a side mirror to a big truck. Again, big trucks have lots of lights.
Yeah, you would have seen it.
And if you're driving a big truck and this person is in the road and you hit them in the middle of the night, you're not going to be charged with anything unless you're drunk in your truck, which I don't think so. Those CDC drivers take that shit really...
Oh,
CDC.
yeah, they're very serious.
CDL drivers, I mean. They take that shit seriously. So, I mean, why wouldn't have they stopped?
I mean, I agree. If it was a big-ass truck like that, they would have stopped.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Very interesting. But, you have any other thoughts?
Not on that case.
Questions or concerns? I mean, lots of concerns, but...
I mean, yeah, I was about to say, I have a lot of concerns. For that case, I'm going to say, I'm going with the other people, and I'm disagreeing with the pathologist. That's
I'm not saying Buster was involved, because I have no evidence of that yet.
No.
But I need to understand how he got to this conclusion.
Yeah, I want to talk... Pathologist, I have questions, man. What?
Yeah, like, how do we get to a conclusion of a hit and run? Like, normally you would see internal damage.
There's a lot more that would have been done with a hit and run if you would have been hit by a car.
When there's a hole in your head that they think is a gunshot wound or possibly a bat.
Yeah, no.
No.
I mean, maybe somebody driving down the road with a bat.
And maybe they weren't doing it on purpose. Because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've done stupid shit out my window, especially on a dark road in the middle of the night with my friends, not thinking about it. Pretty sure you were with me when I threw a firework at the window.
Yes, I was.
So, I mean, like, they may not have done it on purpose, but at the same time, they still didn't hit with a vehicle.
No. So I'm about to out my husband here because the police were involved that night, so it doesn't matter. He was a teenager. Him and some friends were driving around putting fireworks in mailboxes as teenagers. Dumbasses.
Okay. Way worse than what I did.
Yeah, no.
I just threw an artillery shell out the window.
No. So, obviously, I mean, they were on, like, a neighborhood road. But, obviously they're leaning out of the car. They're doing shit. You could have significantly caused damage. Trust me, I laid into my husband at that because I'm like, you're fucking stupid. You could have killed somebody.
I mean, Nick threw a football, like a soft football out of a window one day down 85, and it cause damage to another car. And it was not like a hard football. It was like one of those squishy ones.
Yeah.
So, like, it could have been anything that was just, like, chucked out the window.
Yeah, something could have just been thrown out the window and it hit him.
Yeah. But
Did we check for litter?
If they're going through a high rate of speed.
Like...
But think about it, if you were going through a high rate of speed and you chucked a can, like a full can out the window, not seeing that there was a person there.
Yeah.
That could have caused significant damage if you're going 50 or so miles an hour.
And I'm sure this is everywhere, but I can specifically say that I know for a fact in this area, in the South, low country, upstate, Midlands, it does not matter. If it is a dark road and it's like the one-lane roads that nobody's going to be on, teenagers or even adults are speeding like hell up and down that road. They are like having a joyride. I'm sure that's the same everywhere, but I can say for a fact I know that's what they do here.
I mean, there are houses on this road, just far apart.
Yeah, so it would be realistic for people to be joyriding back there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it isn't unrealistic.
No, I don't believe that's a hit and run. That makes no sense. None of the injuries that you told me have lined up with a hit and run.
And there's several investigators that have spoke out and say this doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But they had nothing else. You know what I mean? They couldn't continue. They didn't have anything.
Yeah.
You can only go so far.
Yeah.
And this road, I just want to kind of give idea, it's about, I'd say 8 or 10 miles from Moselle.
Okay.
So it's in the neighborhood. And that's just estimating. I mean, don't come at me if I'm a couple miles off here, people. But it's in the neighborhood. So, interesting.
Very interesting. Well, I hope for the sake of his family, they might actually have something that they're working on there.
I want to know why Alex offered his services within days of his death.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
Free of charge.
I mean,
once we get into this man's dollar lifestyle, free of charge?
Okay, so I can understand, like, small town area. Everybody probably does know everybody.
They didn't know each other, though, according to the mother.
I mean, it could have just been him being a nice southern gentleman.
Okay, but this man has got 51 charges for financial crimes.
I mean, I agree. Listen, I want to see the nice in everybody.
And I've been full-heartedly trying to find the nice in the Murdaughs, and only including the damage from one person to the whole family. I don't think everybody in the family should be looked upon right now as being the devil.
Right.
But I just don't understand. Why did you offer your services? And when we get to our next case that we're about to go into, you'll kind of see my train of thought and thinking here. Yeah. Unless he was afraid, he wanted to be in the know of the knowledge of what was going on with this case.
But then that makes me want to know, like, did Buster actually know something? Did Buster do something?
That's what I'm saying. So it was either for A, what we're going to get into in the next case of the Murdaugh family, or it was, did Buster actually know something and he wanted to be in the know of what was going on with this case?
I don't know. Like I said, obviously we've talked about rumor mill, and that's obviously how Buster's name got involved. I know how to find all the rumors in South Carolina. Rumor mill for that is that, I don't care if anybody's gay or straight or anything like that. It's not my business. Nobody gives a shit. But that's the rumor mill, is that Buster and Smith were involved in a relationship. I don't care. I don't know. Not my fucking business.
And that rumor went around, but there's no evidence of it.
Yeah.
You know, as a twin, he has a twin sister. And I feel like she would have been able to find evidence. She found evidence of the short-term lover of that old man.
Yeah.
I mean, she was very close to her brother. It wasn't like the normal, I hate my sibling type of thing. They were friends. They hung out.
Yeah.
They had the same group of friends. They were the same age. Kind of like me and Joe back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Joe are still close, but, we got kids of our own and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Interesting story. Now, tune in next week, because we've got another how the fuck is the Murdaughs involved, and everything that they touch dies.
Mm-hmm. So that's where we're going to wrap this week. So we might be turning this into a 5-part series. We'll see.
This family's just got a lot going on.
We'll see. Who knows? It might be longer than 4 episodes than we originally planned. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But thanks for tuning in this week. Make sure to follow us on social media under the name Crime and Chill or Crime and Chill Podcast.
And rate us on Apple Podcasts to help our ratings.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tickety Talk, all the things. Join our Facebook group, Crime and Chill Fam, to talk crime with us. Talk theories.
And there's also, I just posted video that another person had aerialed over the Moselle property. So if you're curious to see where the house was from where the double homicide took place, he actually depicts it really well. He points out where the kennels are versus the house and how far the distance it was.
Yep.
So check it out.
And come talk, and then you can join the group and on all our socials and tell us if you'd be interested in merch.
Merch.
All right, thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.